Hi everyone, this is Girish, and in this video we are going to build a very simple customer service agent. We will use Google Vertex AI and a Google generative AI SDK to build this. We will also use tools like Langchain, Streamlit, Python and Docker. So some familiarity with Python and Docker is needed so to follow along. But otherwise, it's very simple customer service agent, and you should get some idea out of it to make your own, which interacts with database or some third-party APIs, etc. Let's take a look at quick demo of what we are going to build, and then we'll start into coding. So as you can see, I'm running a Docker on port 8082 on my local box, and this is a simple customer service agent which actually helps customers with returning the order items that they purchase. So let's ask it, hello, I would like to return my shoes. When did you purchase the shoes? About 7 days ago. No. So it says you can return the shoes at certain address. As I said, you can always have it generate a shipping label or anything of that nature to interact with third-party APIs, etc. But it should give you an idea that this chat agent actually follows certain rules that I have defined, like the item must be unused, item should be in within 2 weeks of purchase. Then it will allow you to return, otherwise it will reject. So let's test a couple of negative scenarios as well. I want to return shoes, for example. Let's say about 3 weeks ago. And as expected, it says you cannot return it because this return window is only for 15 days and you cannot return it now. Let's try to see one more scenario where we are within the window but we have used the shoes. Hello, I would like to return the shoes. Let's say about 7 days ago. And you see that it asks different wordings. It has different wordings of the question every time because it's whatever is coming from a large language model. I don't control it. Let's say about 7 days ago. Have you used the shoes at all? Let's say I used them once. And it understands that, hey, since you've used it, you cannot return them. So as I said, we'll be building this. It's a hands-on coding session, very beginner friendly. This can be a really great tool for you to put or build and put in your showcasing your skills, I would say. So let's start. I am going to use Google Vertex API AI and Google Generative AI SDK for this. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code. I'm right here. I should not have anything at this moment. Yeah, so my directory is empty. We'll start building it here. So let's do this. Some housekeeping item. Since we are interacting with Google SDK, there is something that you need to know, that we will have to create a service account. And the service account actually gives you permission to use certain Google services. So I will show you an example real quick. So you go to your Google Cloud Console, select your project and go to IAM section. And if you scroll down here, I can just zoom it a little bit. And if you see the service accounts, and this is the service account that I created, and go to right side and somewhere it says manage keys. Now these keys are actually some JSON documents that you can download, and this has permissions to interact with Google SDK. It would have enough permissions to interact with Vertex AI or any other service that you use. So you have to give appropriate permission to it. So basically you go here, create a new key, JSON, you can download, and it's downloaded somewhere, right? So I have already downloaded this, so I'm not going to download it again, but you can store it somewhere, and I will show you a trick where when you are running it, the application in Docker, you can mount this on the Docker image instead of copying it, because as I said, as it says, it poses a security risk if compromised. So we don't want to share this JSON file because somebody can use it and you will be billed for their uses. So we'll just mount it while running the container, but we will never check in or in any version control repository either. So we'll be using this, and now let's start building our tutorial. So let's go back here, and then as I said, we will be creating a few files, which is we'll be using a few packages, for example Langchain. So we'll just download some of the packages, or install rather, and the packages that we will need is Google AI, Google Cloud AI platform. You can run this without Docker also, but I always like to build a Docker image so that you can just put it anywhere, whether it's Cloud Run, whether it's some other Kubernetes maybe, or any other place where you want to run your workload. Streamlit. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to this channel. I will be posting more videos on this topic, generative AI topic, and creating more tutorials around it. So please like and subscribe. Thank you. So we will be using these packages. Let's add another file. Let's say we'll be building a Docker image. So I'm going to create a Docker file, and this Docker file we will start with a base image of Python 3.11. So let's see from, since we are already exposing port 8082, we'll expose 8083 from here, and then set up the work directory, and we'll just use a path app. Now copy the requirements, and then run the pip install. Now if you copy everything and then run pip install, every time your app file changes, it would reinstall everything. We don't want that. That's why I always separate, putting the requirements first and run the pip install, and then copy my other app files, because the requirement files less likely to change very often, but other files would. So this is just a Docker caching thing that I just wanted to share. But yeah, if you see that Docker is building every time and downloading dependencies every time, that means you have something which is changing, and as Docker builds on each one of the lines becomes a layer, so it just compares what is already cached layer versus what is new. So I think just a good trick to not build or download every time. So we'll just use Streamlit. I spelled it entry point. Entry point is this, and Streamlit run. We'll create a file called app.py and then assign a server port. Equals to 8083, and we'll also bind it to, so it can run anywhere. Address is 0.0.0.0. I think that's it for the Docker. Now let's quickly create our app file. I'll create it, I'll build an image and test it real quick so that we know that we have not made any mistake, or we have all the dependencies at least for a time being. So let's just say import Streamlit as st. And what we'll do is, let's also import a couple of other packages. Let's say OS. We will also need time, and let's import chat model, Vertex AI dot language models. We will import chat model from here. Oops, sorry, import And one more thing is we'll use Langchain core dot messages, and we will import human message and AI message so that we can display the, as I showed you, we can display something like this. Let's say I want to return shoes. So this is a human message, this is an AI generated message, so we can just distinguish between them. Okay, so let's go, and what we'll do is we will load our environment variable, or the JSON file that we saved. We have to load it, so I'm going to load it right here, and because that's needed for interacting with the Google SDK. So let's call it Google application credentials, and I will be mounting that file in a root directory. Let's call it root key, and you can mount it anywhere, but make sure you give the right path here, otherwise it will not work. So sorry, this is Google, and model that we are going to be using is actually Chatbot. So I'm just going to put Chatbot at 000, I think 002. Okay, so this is good so far. So this will actually check whether our application is has all dependency, etc. So let's just quickly build it, and then we will do rest of the coding. So if name let's run the main function. Let's define main function right here, define main, and what we are going to do is we are going to just put a title and the header for Streamlit, and let's say st.title, and we can just say customer service agent demo. And let's just write hello, welcome to the return center, I'm here to help you. It could be any text. Okay, so let's build this image, run it, and see that we don't get any dependency errors, etc. So I am going to quickly do a build. Let's say Docker build MST, and let's say simple customer service demo. I have most of the dependencies already downloaded, so it could be very fast for me. Let's see what to made a mistake here, looks like. Fail to resolve process pip install. Let's see what happened here. Run pip install as our requirements. Did I not have requirements? Text. Oh, maybe I had a typo in there. So let's see. Google Cloud AI platform. Google Cloud AI platform. It seems right. Oh, not Google. Google Cloud AI platform. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, so the image is built. Now let's just run it real quick, and then we can move on with the rest of the coding. Okay, so to run it, you can just say docker run, and as I said, I'll be mounting my credential files here. So I'm copying it from a location that I have saved it at. And rest of the command. So this is the location where I have my JSON file, and I'm loading the entire folder into root key, I'm exposing port 8083 and I'm running the simple customer service demo application. Okay, lots of typos for some reason. Let's see. Docker. Okay, so the application is up. Let's just quickly check it and then we'll proceed. Okay, so my Docker image and dependencies are all good, so we can see this page. As long as you can see this page, you're good to go and move to the next step where we'll be building the actual application. So in the interest of time, I'll copy some of the things. For example, the context. So when we actually initialize this chat model, we want to give it some context, like, hey, please ask the customers that you can only return within 2 weeks and stuff like that. Like, it has to be unused. So I will copy the context and then explain here. So what I'm saying here is, you are a helpful order return assistant. Customer will use you to return their items. Items can only be returned if they were purchased within the last 15 days and are unused. So we are telling the model to identify these two conditions are satisfied before initiating the return. Make sure to confirm that item is both unused and was purchased within the last 15 days. Please ask customer for both the rules. If both the above conditions are met, then show a message with the return address, and you can, this is just the fictitious address. Otherwise, reject the return with a friendly message. Do not worry about order number or product details. And again, as I said, this is a task for you guys. If you want to integrate it with some database, etc., then yeah, surely extend this demo to ask for the order number and retrieve it from the database. Okay, so we will initialize some objects here. Chat model is, let's say, chat model dot from pre-trained, and we will get the model ID. So we are actually be using chat Python, so that's what we are instantiating here. Sorry, getting a reference of. And now here we will instantiate chat is chat model and start the chat, and we'll start a chat with this particular context. So our large language model has this context of what is expected. The language model also expects some parameters, and these are some parameters on saying like how many tokens to generate and what's the temperature and other top P and top K, etc. So I'll just go to copy, and this I found from the documentation, so you can take a look, and based on your need, you can. I don't want model to hallucinate at all, so I'm keeping the temperature as 0. Maybe you want it to imagine a little bit for your case, but maximum output token just to be in a limit so that we don't get charged too much. I'm just going to keep it to 256 and top P and top K. So I will also define a couple of other methods. So response generator, for example, and this will actually take whatever the user enters prompt. We will also take these parameters and messages, for example. For now, I'll just pass. For the reset button, we'll also define another method. Let's say reset chat, and this will actually, we can type st.sessionState.messages equals to this. So we'll use them as we code along. So what are we trying to do? In the main method, we'll just say, very first thing is if messages is not in st.sessionState. Messages not in st.sessionState, then what do? We'll just initialize it so that we have this message array, because we'll be storing all the chats that is happening in an array so that we can display it right here. Okay, let's just build. So if I have a prompt, for example, if I have prompt which is coming from an input text field that we're going to show, and let's say that is st.chat input, and let's say hello, how can I help you? That's our prompt. That's the user entering the prompt, and then what we'll do, we'll store this prompt in a session object. That the session will maintain this in the session states messages. So let's say session state dot messages dot append. Now we want to distinguish between it's a human message or a AI generated message. So we will actually just say human message and whatever the user entered prompt. And with the st dot chat message human, what we'll do, we will actually show it, mark down, and then prompt. Okay. And then what are we going to do with this? We are actually going to use this prompt that they sent and query the LLM. So let's do this with st dot chat message, let's say AI. What are we going to do? We are going to get a response from the LLM. So response is response generator. And what are we passing here? I think we're passing the prompt. We are also passing the parameters, and we are also passing all the stored messages. And I'll show you why we need it, because we need to give prior history of the questions that the model has asked us. The response to those questions help it determine whether item can be returned or not. So let's send session state dot messages. Okay, so whatever came back from the LLM's response, we will store that in the same array so that we can display it. So let's say st dot session state dot messages dot append, and we will store a response. Now one thing is, this is a response generated, but we will actually have to write it on the page. So we'll just do st dot write here, or actually write stream, because I want it to show it like ChatGPT, like how it's actually writing it. For example, last week. So it writes like this. So it's not like one shot text sent back. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to use streaming text or streaming write, so that it looks like somebody's typing. And once we have this, let's I think that should be it. We'll also create the reset chat button, because we'll be testing more scenarios. So I'll just use the button real quick, and let's call it reset chat. And on click, we will actually call the function that we created earlier, reset chat. So it does nothing but just clears up the session state. All the messages are gone, or a new empty array is created. Now let's actually create logic to call our AI model. So in the response generator, I'm sending prompt, parameters, and the sessions messages. So let's go to this method and start writing our code here. So code is very simple, but we will start, and then we'll see what problems we see, and then how we can fix those. Let's call it response. Response is chat.send message, and what are we sending? We are sending prompt and parameters. See, you see that I'm not using messages just yet, so I'm only sending the prompt, only the question. So let's see how the model thinks and behaves with that. So let's get the response. Once we get the response, let's get the text. Response text comes from the response object. If you're still here, still liking this video, please try to subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more videos on this topic, and it will be helpful if you subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos. So how we can do the streaming kind of scenario. So what we will do, instead of returning the text as is, what we'll do, we will use a Python construct called yield. So let's say for words, every word that is coming out from the response text split, we will actually only return that word. We'll just say yield word plus an empty space, and then we'll sleep for 0.05 seconds or 0.05 minutes. I think it takes seconds, 0.05 seconds. Okay, so we are good so far. Let's build it and test it real quick. Okay, so let's build it real quick. Oops. And let's run it. Docker. Okay, there's some issue here. Let's see what happened here. Uncaught exception from pre-trained model ID. Oh, chat Bison at, oh, so maybe I had typo. Let's see. That model is not found. Oh, sorry, it's not chat underscore Bison, it's chat dash Bison. That's the issue. Okay, let's rebuild real quick and run it. Okay, no errors so far, so we should be able to access our application from the browser. We are on port 8083. Let's refresh this page, and we see that the reset chat button is already there. So let's try to see how it works. Let's see, and what kind of problems we have, so we can, and how we will fix it. Hello, I want to return my shoes. And you see that the streaming text is appearing. So it's asking me, when did I purchase the shoes? I'll say, okay, let's say about 7 days ago. So you see a problem that it's not keeping the other, like the previous history messages. So we have to fix that. Now, second thing is the item unused? Let's say yes. Now it's asking again, and was the item purchased within the last 15 days? Let's say yes. And it's asking again, it's purchased, because it doesn't remember the history. So what we have to do, along with the context, we have to also pass the historical answers to the previous questions that the chatbot asked. So let's build that. And we'll also display all the history as well. So let's do both the things. So first thing is, here I will be building let's build it right here. So we'll say right above the prompt, let's say for message in st dot session state dot messages. Now, if the instance is of type human, then we'll show one type, otherwise different icon. So if is instance of the message is human message, then what do? We'll just say with st dot chat message, and this is human, and we'll just do st dot markdown message dot content. So what we are saying here, if the message of type human, then we will show this kind of icon with the message content. If this is of type, let's say AI message, as we are adding the response from the AI, as we have not been we are, let's see, one second, we are adding it somewhere, we are not adding it, so we have to append just not the response but AI message and the response like this. Okay, so what we are saying here, if the message is of type AI message, then we will display the icon AI, and then this is what we need. Second thing, we have to fix it, the more historical data that we send to the model. So in this method, let's do one thing. Let's just create a variable called history, and then we'll use some of this code. So we have the messages already in here, and we'll iterate over this thing. So I'm just going to keep this here and then write a for loop for message in messages. Okay, so if the instance is of type human message, what will we do? We will add the history. Let's see, we'll say history equals to whatever is in the history so far, we keep it. Then we add a user message, which is message.content. Yeah, and if the message is of type AI message, then I'm just going to copy this. If the message is of type AI message, then I will just send this as assistant, so that the model knows that this is what the user asked, this is what the assistant replied, and what's the message.content. Okay, so our history is built. Now how do we send, what do we send to a chat? We will send history as well as the prompt. So let's form it a little bit. So I'm going to send history first, and then a new line, and then the prompt. Okay, so now it knows what user said for the previously asked questions, and based on that it will make a determination instead of going in a loop all the time asking the same question over and over. Okay, let's build it. I think that's all the code, I guess. Let's see, unless we find some issue. Okay, so the image is built. Let's run it, refresh this, and let's see what we see. So test it. Welcome to the return sign. Okay, hello, I would like to return my shoes. Okay, I need to confirm when did you purchase the shoes? About 7 days ago. So you see that now it's still keeping all the text, the interaction that is happening is displaying it on the page as well. Please confirm the shoes are unused. Yes, they are not used. So it's accepted because both the conditions are met. Perfect. The shoes are only purchased in the last 15 days and unused, so you can return them at so and so address. Let's test some negative scenarios as well. Hello, I would like to return. When was the item purchased? Let's say about 30 days ago. So as expected, the return policy says that item can only be returned in the last 15 days. That's what we told the model context. So that's model is checking for that. Reset it. Let's do it again. Hello, I would like to return. Let's say 3 days ago. No. Or let's say yes. So again, it's within the return window, but it's used, so it model doesn't let you return. Let's test one more scenario. I'll say this time, hello, I would, let's see if you understand, like to return shoes I purchased few days ago and never used it. I'm going to copy and I'm going to modify also a little bit the next question. Let's see what model thinks. So it still asks you yes. No. Okay, it's allowing you to return the issues. So as you saw, with a few lines of code, let's say about 70 or so, few lines of code, we were able to build a very basic chatbot, which can act as a customer service agent. And again, the possibilities are limitless. You can use generative AI models to build even much more advanced version of the customer service agent, interact with database, third-party APIs, etc. That's all I had for this demo. I hope you like it. And as I said, I normally don't do it, but this is a task for you. Create some more thought-provoking and like much more cooler application than this, but you can do much more. And if you have any idea of my next video, please, you can email me here. Like and subscribe, as I'll be posting more and more videos on generative AI using both Bedrock and Google Vertex AI, and so that you don't miss any of those videos. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.